So today we've got Ashley Stevenson with us. So Ashley has just started a Women in Table Tennis website, which is something that's really new on the table tennis scene. And we'd just like to welcome Ashley.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Thanks for coming along.
Yeah.
So, Ashley, can you tell us a bit about the new Women in Table Tennis website and what it's about and why you started it?
Well, I basically started it just because of the lack of awareness and, the inequality in table tennis in Australia.
Yep.
But I guess it branches out throughout Oceania and throughout the world as well. But in Australia, I mean, the website is set up to try to give some female athletes, but also officials and coaches, just some more opportunities in the sport.
Yep, excellent.
Raise awareness of our leading players and to also just try and attract more girls to start playing in the first place.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it's certainly. Certainly the numbers I know in Australia are really skewed, aren't they, towards males in table tennis?
Yeah, they are. Yeah, I can't remember the exact numbers, but there are about like half as many teams at the Australian Junior Championships this year with girls compared to boys. So, yeah, there definitely is an inequality there.
Yeah, and that's at the top end, and certainly even at the beginner level, that's probably even more the case, isn't it, Ash?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, definitely. It spreads throughout, but I guess it does start at the beginner level. I mean, there's a lot more boys who just start playing with their friends, and the girls have other things to do, I guess, other sports to choose from.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So do you think it's just that girls aren't attracted to the sport because they've got other options, or do you think table tennis isn't an attractive sport for females?
I think it is an attractive sport, and it is becoming more and more attractive, like with the the new initiatives with the women's clothing and all that sort of thing.
Yep.
But I mean, I can't tell you I don't know the exact reason why there aren't more girls who want to stay in the sport, but I mean, my job, what I aim to do is to try and bring them in. I think with more female coaches as good role models and female athletes there as sort of mentors, then that's a really good step in the right direction. At my club in Wynnum, I run a junior session, and the club has noticed that there's more and more girls coming along just because they have a female coach or someone to look up to. So I think maybe that's one way.
Yep, definitely. That's fantastic. And I guess, yeah, and it's almost like a snowball effect. The more women you get in the sport, the more they're going to come and the more they're going to like it and enjoy it and get involved and then start coaching themselves and just rolls on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, very good. So on your website at the moment, you've managed to get a few players writing some blogs and stuff. Can you tell us a bit about that and how you went about getting those players on there? And yep.
Just through my playing career and traveling over the world and that, I've made some friends throughout all my training competition.
Yep.
And I just sent them some emails and really just asked in some favours. I've got a few Swedish friends and friends from, the World Championships and that. And just when there's a big tournament on or something, I've been asking the girls to just write about, their experience and what it's like because, they're things that people want to read about.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's good. And it definitely encourages people to, aspire to that themselves.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
So how long's the website been going, Ash?
Since August.
Okay.
So only a few months now.
Wow, so you've made some pretty big steps in just a few months. So I heard that you had a T-shirt that you just auctioned as well.
Yeah, we did. So I've been doing a lot of work with OTTF. They've set up like a women's development fund, because it was my sort of dream with the women in table tennis to raise some money to support some girls for overseas training and training camps and things like that. So the Women's Development Fund has been set up, but now the first step in like fundraising was the online shirt auction, and that shirt, when I was in Kuala Lumpur at the Women's World Cup, I got the athletes there to sign the shirt.
Wow.
And I put our logo on it and the ITTF and OTTF logos, and they all signed it, and we auctioned it off online. And it went for $100, which is
well done.
Not as much as we were hoping for, but it's a good place to start, I guess.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, with these sort of things, I think it does take time, doesn't it, to just establish what you're doing. But that's a really good initiative.
Thanks. Yeah, it was a good place to start.
Yeah. So what is the aim of the fund? To help women train overseas and things like that?
Yeah, it is. I mean, my thing was that when I had the opportunity to go overseas and train in Europe for 3 months. And, that has made such a big difference to my game and my standard. And, you know, I've been competitive with some of the top 10 players this year, which without that training and competition, I never would have been able to compete with them. And I think that's an opportunity that a lot of other girls would really benefit from. And but, I mean, it is really expensive. I know.
Yep.
I know that.
So where did you go to, Ash?
I went to Sweden for 3 months, and also Germany in Düsseldorf for a couple of weeks.
Right.
And
so what was the main difference between training in Sweden and Germany compared to your local training?
It would be the amount.
Right. Yep.
So 5 or 6 days a week and 5 hours a day.
Yep.
And also the physical training definitely made a difference in my game. I was much faster and much stronger legs.
Right.
But in terms of, you know, like technique and that sort of thing, Sweden, it's very consistent. They base everything on like you must get the first ball on the table, and your whole like routines are based around that, like your serve and first attack, which I guess makes up, you know, a lot of the rallies.
Absolutely.
Based on serve and return and that. So that really helped my game too.
Right.
Okay.
So with the physical training, what sort of aspects were you focusing on with your physical training over there?
You do a lot of core strength work.
Mm-hmm.
I know most in the morning, after the morning session, we did like core strength exercises, so sit-ups and like plank holds and back exercises.
Right.
And then in the afternoon, after that session, was like the killer exercises, as I like to call them.
Yep.
So like jogging, and I'm not built to be a runner, so that was not fun. But sprinting and strength exercises, a lot of leg exercises.
So when you say jogging, what sort of distances were they getting you to run, and was that during their season, or is that part of their pre-season?
I think it's part of their pre-season.
Yep.
Yeah, because they focus on fitness a lot. We also did a lot of like bike, on the exercise bike riding.
Right.
And that sort of thing.
Yep.
But in terms of distance, it was mainly time. So they'd say, okay, we're running for 30 minutes.
Yep.
Right.
You know, and then they do, you'd be jogging. They'd say, okay, drop down and do 20 push-ups. Okay, drop down and do this and whatever.
Right.
Sounds like great fun.
Top.
So was 30 minutes a fairly standard sort of time that you'd run for?
Yeah, about 30 minutes, and the bike was normally 45, and
right.
Yeah, normally collapsed off the bike.
Yeah. And what sort of intensity were you running at and riding the bike at? Were you just sort of jogging along as in fairly comfortable pace, or were they trying to get you to push fairly hard at that stage?
they do push you harder. On the bike, we did a lot of like interval training.
Right.
So they'd say, okay, sprint now for 30 seconds and then slow down, and they'd get you to do different things like that.
Yep.
Jogging was mainly just one pace, just for fitness. So
Yep.
yeah, that wasn't not as much interval training.
Yep.
It was sort of like just jogging and then sprinting.
Yep.
Separately.
Okay.
So the training you did, was that a female-only group, or was it a mixed male and female group that you were training with?
It was a mixed group.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I'd say the numbers were fairly even. There's probably a couple more boys, but
Right.
they had a lot of like good level girls as well.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, the great thing about me where I trained in Sherping was that all the girls there were not way above my standard.
Right.
They were probably just my standard or a bit better.
Yep.
Yep.
And so it was a perfect like training for me. Like when I went to Dusseldorf at the National Training Centre, they were all way, way, way better than me.
Yep.
And so they either didn't want to train with me, and then when you train with like the junior squad, they were only like 8 or 9. So it was
Okay.
really difficult.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you think the best training occurs when you're training with players of reasonably similar ability and maybe a little bit better than you?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, when they're a little bit better than you, it pushes you to train hard, especially for me. When I had the opportunity to train with the better ones, I trained really hard, because if you start missing at that, they get cranky at you.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
But,
Excellent.
So in Sweden and Germany, are they doing anything differently in as far as attracting females to table tennis?
I don't think.
Yeah.
I don't think they make a big effort. They don't have to. I mean, table tennis is so popular in Germany
Right.
and in Sweden as well.
Yep.
I mean, Sweden, their men are obviously so good, but in Germany, the men and the women are so good. So
Yes.
they don't struggle for numbers. That's for sure.
Yeah. Okay. So so getting back to your website then, Ash. So what sort of plans have you got in the future now of things that you want to do with the website?
Yeah, and how can people help out, and how can clubs get on board and support the website?
Sure. Well, the first thing we're doing is, in terms of fundraising, is the Oceania Women in Table Tennis calendar.
Okay.
So we're hoping to get that out by Christmas, and what that is, you can just go online and buy your own copy, and all the money goes towards that Women's Development Fund.
Fantastic.
Yeah. In terms of clubs and that sort of thing, the one initiative that we have going at the moment is women-friendly clubs.
Yep.
So, the club has to provide some sort of incentive for females to want to join the club. So that might be the first training session free, or you get a new beginner bat when you join up. And then I list them on my website, and I send out like a flyer to all the local clubs, schools
Yep.
around that club, and try and promote, their special offer. And so, if girls look at the Women in Table Tennis website, they know where to go to join their local club, and they'll get, this offer to join up.
Excellent.
So if clubs are interested, they can basically just contact you through the website.
Yeah, definitely. If they email me and let me know what their incentive is, and training session times and their club logo and that, then
All right. So there you go. Clubs, get on board.
Yep. So that's a really great opportunity for clubs all around the world to get on board with Ashley's initiative there. Ash, just we haven't actually mentioned the website at any stage, so do you want to just give us your website address?
Sure, it's www.womenint.com.
Excellent. And we'll put it all over this screen so they'll know where to go for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, that's Ash. Sounds like you're doing some really great work there with trying to encourage females from all around the world to get on board with table tennis.
Yeah.
and certainly PingSkills would really love to be able to help in any way we can to help that. We see the real need for more females to be involved in the sport of table tennis. So
yeah, because it's actually interesting because we did a survey once on our readers and asked the percentage of males and females looking at PingSkills, and it was very high towards the males. There was a low percentage of females, so we definitely need more females playing the sport. So yeah, I think it's really good what you're doing.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Ash, so with your own table tennis now from here, what's for you next?
Well, I'm just the usual. Next year, I'm looking towards the Australian Open and Australian Closed in Brisbane.
Yep.
And yeah, just my goals for next year is to keep going higher and higher up the rankings. So like top 8 would be great.
Fantastic. Yep.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So being able to juggle your own playing career and trying to get Women in TT website off the ground and running, that's a real challenge for you.
It is a challenge, but it's one that I enjoy. I mean, table tennis is my passion. You know, I love it.
Yeah.
And you know, it's like I said, it doesn't feel like work. You know, I really enjoy doing it, and you know.
That's great. So for all our viewers out there, how did you get started in table tennis?
My mum is the coach, actually.
Yep.
So she got me started into it, taught me how to play, and she's still my coach today. So.
Okay. And so how's that parental pressure thing going that they always talk about?
Yeah, it was stressful for a while there. And
for her or for you?
Both ways. Actually, mum, I would say. But I wasn't the most cool-tempered child either, so... It was tough on mum, but it's much better now.
Yep.
Training, and she can't coach me because at tournaments because of her role at TTA. But,
yes.
So just a little bit about your mum. So what's her role with Table Tennis Australia?
Mum's our high performance and coaching coordinator for Table Tennis Australia. So yeah, and she just returned home from the Commonwealth Games as the section manager. So yeah, she does a lot of work there, which is good.
Yeah, that's certainly high praise. You know, to be able to get the section manager position, being a female in a male dominated sport like table tennis. So yeah, that's fantastic, Ash.
Yeah, well, mum works really hard and she puts a lot of effort into the sport. You know. For many, many years, so I think she definitely deserves it, you know.
Okay, excellent. So, have you got any advice for any young girls out there that are just getting started and, you know, want to try and go on and represent their country?
For sure, I think just persevere. Like, table tennis is a hard sport and it takes many years to perfect it, and you never really do perfect it, but just
yep.
Keep working hard and going out, you know, keep learning and keep going at it because it will pay off. And I mean, table tennis has so many things that it can offer you, you know, friendships all over the world and travel and, you know, you've just got to work hard and keep going at it. Yeah, that's my advice.
That's fantastic.
Good advice. Excellent. Yeah.
Yes. Very good.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks, Ashley. That's a really good insight into what you're doing, and certainly a great insight into a female's perspective on table tennis, and also a female player's perspective on table tennis. So, Ash, all power to what you're doing, and so as I said before, if PingSkills can help in any way, and to all our viewers out there, just if you can get onto www.womenint.com, and if you've got suggestions for Ashley, I'm sure she'd welcome those, and certainly some support for what she's doing with her calendar later in the year. That would be absolutely great. So we'll put a link there as well to your website, and I hope a lot of our readers can get across there.
Thanks very much, Matt.
Thanks, Ash.
Okay, thanks, Ash.